Welcome to the Knitter's Guide to Knit podcast. This is Stitch 23. I'm Carrie on Ravelry. I'm a Knitfomaniac, and on Instagram just Knitfomaniac.
And I don't know who I am. I'm Darlene, and I'm Awesome Granny on Ravelry and Bags by Awesome Granny on Instagram. Yep.
Today is
the 27th.
27th.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Friday.
So,
we were going to record on Wednesday, but I couldn't find a room to record in.
well, then I had a lunch meeting.
She did.
I had a meeting that went from 9 in the morning. Well, not a lunch meeting. I had a meeting that started at 9 in the morning and went till 11:45, 2 days in a row.
She also, on Wednesday, she also had a little bit of an upset stomach.
Yeah, I did.
So I didn't think it was like the greatest mood for either one of us to be recording. So we moved it to Friday.
And it's hotter than hell here.
It is.
It is.
If you're in a cool place, stay, because we are dying.
I saw this. I don't know. You may have showed it to me, or I saw it on
Is it the popcorn?
Facebook. No, that's cute too. But it showed hell and this devil, and somebody said South
Dancing?
Texas, and he said one floor down, like past hell. That's.
I've seen one where it's a picture of hell again, and then there's this one guy in the corner going, "Oh man, it's kind of chilly in here," and they say, "We always know the ones that came from South Texas."
Yeah, because it is so hot. I mean, it's been over 100, and we haven't had any rain, so everything is dry, and it's just miserable.
It is miserable.
And then I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday because I had to get a few things for the shop, and they have all of their fall material. I mean,
really?
Well, they have their fall decorations, like all of their house decorations and yard decorations and all this stuff, and it looks so cool and like fallish. And then you walk outside and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so hot.
And here's the funny thing. I have been wearing my Portage cardigan all week because we're in an office. So when it's super hot outside, they have to make it like 20 below in the building. So I'm like wearing sandals, and because it's summertime, you wear sandals in the summertime, and you come in here, and Darlene sent me a message this morning. She said, "I look like a dork. I'm wearing my socks with my sandals." And I said, "I'm sure you don't look like a dork, but I have to do the same thing at my desk."
I had on my shawl that you made me for my birthday, my black one. I had it wrapped around me, and I pulled my socks that you made me out of my desk drawer and put those on with my sandals. I mean, I look like an Eskimo sitting there. And then you go outside, and it's like you just melt.
You just like hit this wall. I mean, my glasses, I took them off because I think in the last couple of podcasts they've kind of been a weird glare. And but my glasses fog up.
Do I need to take mine off?
No.
Okay, because I can't see if I do.
And I can still see. I have reading glasses here in case I need to see anything like really close up. Sometimes I wonder why I wear glasses, because sometimes I think I see better without them. But that's usually like towards the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I think my eyes are tired. And
I have that same problem.
and I'm like, man, I take these glasses off and I feel like I can see better. But again, it's probably because I'm pretty tired and stuff. So. Well, Darlene has a new car.
I do. And so this is like the craziest story, and I didn't tell it last time because I really just wasn't ready to tell this story, because it is a crazy story and people are going to go, where the heck do you live? But so when we got home from vacation, we were on our motorcycles, and this whole thing I'm fixing to tell y'all happened the night we got home. So we got home from vacation, and Bruce had to move my car out of the driveway so we could put the motorcycles in the garage. So he did that, and then I moved the car back into the driveway. Okay, that's important because my car was fine. It was like there was nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong.
And we had to go to Shiloh's to pick up Susie, because Peyton and Shiloh and Tim and Trenton took care of Susie while we were on vacation. So, we were tired. We've just been riding 6,000 miles. We were exhausted. So, and Bruce got back in my car to measure to see if Susie's ramp, because Susie has a ramp that, because she's a weenie dog, we don't like her jumping off of the bed. So Bruce made her this ramp that goes on the end of our bed, and it's a foot wide, and it's the whole length of our width of our bed, our king size bed. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to take that to Shiloh's house so that she could get on Shiloh's bed without, trying to jump on the bed and jump off the bed. So anyway, Bruce measured my car. I have a Pathfinder to see if that ramp would fit in my car, and it wouldn't fit. So he got out of my car and he shut the door, and we got in his pickup and we left. He didn't lock it. He said he didn't remember locking it, and I know I didn't lock it. So when we got home, you know, we went in the house, got Susie, we went in the house, didn't even think anything about the cars. The next morning was Friday. Bruce got up to go buy groceries, and he got in my car and he was like, man, he always is griping at me about not cleaning the inside of my windshield, you know, because he says it's always dirty, and he couldn't see out of it, and he was like, man, she really needs to clean that.
Damn that woman. No,
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
She needs to clean the inside of that windshield. And then he was like, something's not right. He was like, I could tell something's not right, but I couldn't quite figure out what wasn't right. And then he said he took his finger and he ran it across the windshield, and it was like black soot on his hand. And then he looked over in the passenger seat of my car, and it was like had been set on fire.
It's completely melted. I only have a couple of pictures to insert, but yeah, set on fire.
Yeah, it was set on fire. The door panel was melted, the center console was melted, and the passenger seat was, you know,
scorched.
Was destroyed. I mean, it was melted down to the frame.
Her favorite project bag was on that
yes,
chair.
and my favorite project bag was in there, and it had Shiloh's black hats, and I've got to order more yarn material, more black yarn to make Shiloh a hat. But Brucey came in the house, and he's like, come out here and look at your car. And I went out there, and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, somebody had got in it and took all of the stuff out of the console. They were looking to rob it, you know, but there's nothing in there. And, you know, it appeared that, and the police said that they were just looking like they were looking for unlocked cars, and my car was unlocked. And, you know, they didn't find anything in it. We don't know if it was set on fire intentionally or if it was an accident, but when we called State Farm, my car was paid for, and we took it to a shop to see, you know, to get the estimate on fixing it, and it was totaled. So I had to get a new car, which I wasn't.
She was thrilled.
Yeah, I was thrilled, and I didn't get to go to the lake retreat because we had to buy a car that weekend because I had to have a car. So it was just crazy.
It was crazy.
So but luckily, crazy. You know, the fire burned itself out because it ran out of oxygen in the car and put itself out. So if they would have done it and left the door open, it could have burnt down
your whole house.
Everything. Yeah.
It could have.
Yeah.
Honestly,
so
could have.
You know, you kind of got to look at the bright side of things.
I personally think, because I don't like to think people suck as much as they actually really do suck. I think it was, of course, somebody that wasn't very nice, but was going in there. I think they might have either had a cigarette or a joint in their mouth.
That's kind of what I think too.
Or maybe a cigar. I'm not sure. And it fell. And I don't think they realized that it fell. You know, sometimes it takes a while for an ember to like get that cotton material going or whatever. And then they closed the door and they went on to the next house, not knowing that they had, you know, set a fire. Yeah. That's what I like to think, but maybe it was intentional.
I kind of think the same thing.
Because they closed the door and it was just, you know, it was going to burn out anyway.
And then that all happened Friday morning. And then after, you know, I called the insurance company and the police came, we filed reports and all that stuff. Bruce went ahead to go buy groceries. So he got in our other pickup. We had an older pickup that we traded in when we went and bought my new one. But he got in it just because he liked to drive it every now and then to keep the, you know, keep the battery up and you know, just to make sure that it still ran. Well, he said he got to the grocery store and he got all the groceries, got through the checkout line, and I tell you, this is how out of sorts we were. He didn't have his billfold. Did I tell you that?
No.
Okay, so he didn't have his billfold with him, and
that's
he said,
the one that was on the dash.
Yes, and so he told this guy, he said, I'm so embarrassed. He said, I don't have my billfold. So they took his groceries and put it in the cooler.
I've seen that done for people before.
And he came home and he was like, I can't find my billfold. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know. So we looked through like his clothes he was wearing the night before, and we looked through the old pickup, and I told him, I said, Bruce, did you leave it in your pickup? Because when we got to Shiloh's, he took some money out of his billfold to give to Peyton for taking care of Susie, and I remembered him putting his billfold, setting it up on the dash. He never does that. Like, we've been married 38 years, and he has never done that before.
But that's what happens when you're tired. You're tired, like not yourself.
You know? And so I told him, I said, Bruce, is it in your pickup? And he was like, I don't think so, but I'll go look. Well, he went out to his pickup, and it was right on the dash, like in plain view, and it had, you know, all of our credit cards in it. It had $700 in cash that we didn't spend on vacation, and it was just sitting there in plain sight.
But because it was locked, they obviously, hopefully, didn't see the wallet, didn't break into that one. They just went into Darlene's because it was unlocked.
So
thank
yeah,
God for that.
Thank goodness, yes. So then, when we get ready to go buy a new car, you know, we had to like get our insurance check and stuff because they totaled my car. And when we went to, and I hate car shopping, it's like the worst. I hate it. If I didn't have, Bruce wouldn't have made me go, I would have just said, just go get me whatever you want. I don't care.
She'd rather knit with black.
Than go car shopping. I hate it. So he told me I had to go. So we went to this dealership. It's called Gun Nissan here. And I knew that I wanted a Nissan pickup. And I knew that I wanted a backup camera, and I wanted Bluetooth, and then of course, you know, air conditioner. Oh, yeah. And you know, electric windows, and they told me this. They said, well, that's really the base model now.
It is.
You know, and I said, okay, fine, that's what I want. And he said, okay, do you want what color? And I said, I don't want red and I don't want black, but any other color's fine. And he said, well, here's a white one, and here's a gray one, and here's a silver one, and here's a blue one. Which one do you want? And I said, whichever one you can get, this is the best price on. So we went in, and we didn't even drive it because Bruce has one, and it's built just like the Pathfinder, so I didn't need to drive it. And Bruce made him run the numbers on all 4 of those, and we literally took the one that we got the best price on, which I'm happy with because it was a gray one. It's real pretty.
It is pretty. I also have a picture of that to insert.
But yeah, that all happened the night we got home from vacation.
That's crazy. It's just crazy.
But what's happening with you?
Well, I did get to go to the lake house, and I have some fun pictures to insert. And we had another lady that couldn't come to the lake house. Tammy couldn't make it to the lake house. Yeah. And Elizabeth. Yes, and Elizabeth.
First time ever this has happened.
Ever that anybody couldn't make it. I don't think we've ever had anybody cancel. And Tammy was feeling under the weather. Elizabeth's mother was having surgery earlier that week, so we knew there was a chance that she couldn't go. And then, of course, you know, Darlene had to go sabotage her car, and she had to go car shopping.
Yep.
So
had to burn that paid-for car right up.
Yep.
No.
She just wanted that new payment. And but Tammy was texting us during the weekend, and she finished a couple of hats. Tania finished a hat. Rosanna was working on a shawl. What did I work on? I mostly worked on a shawl, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit. I did finish toward a sock, which I'll show in the FOs. And Melissa finished a hoe. She had a half a sock done. And we had a great time. It was hot. It was probably hotter Friday evening. And Saturday we had a decent breeze. And Sunday we weren't there too long before we left. So, but we had a good time.
I hated to miss it. But you know, sometimes life just gets in the way.
Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Okay, so I got another crazy story to tell.
She's got the best life ever.
No, well,
most exciting.
Yeah, right. So Bruce, my husband, he's a city manager for a lock. It's Papa Lock. It's a car roadside service company. And one of his guys had to go home early day before yesterday. And this is like the stupidest story I've ever heard. He has a pit bull in his backyard. And he lives at this golf course, and in front of his house is a basketball course. And he said that these boys would cut through his backyard to go to the basketball court. And he has told them over and over and over not to go through his yard because one of these days the dog was going to bite somebody. Well, it did. It got one of them the day before yesterday, and then Dally bit it, you know, tore his leg up pretty good. Well, the police were called. The police came out there. They had to take the dog, and because he was a minor, he is liable for this kid's injuries.
Because the person that was injured is a minor, not the owner.
And then he had to go to his vet and get his rabies shots and stuff, and take and show that the dog has had his rabies shots. And I just think that's wrong, that the kid trespasses and his dog got taken away.
I completely agree.
I just think that's so wrong.
I think the kid should have gotten in trouble. You know, we don't have every single detail because it wasn't.
Well, I have an update.
Oh, okay.
I do have an update.
It wasn't Darlene and I asking this man a million questions. It was two men talking.
Yeah. So I have an update. Bruce said that he did take he was able to produce his shot records. He had to pay a fine and he got his dog back, and said that the boy's parents, that the kid was bit, they actually brought the kid down there and made the kid apologize for going through his fence, and they're not mad at him about it at all.
Fabulous.
So
Great
it's like
parenting.
Good parents, you know. I'm glad, you know, and I like, Carrie thinks the best of people, and I tend to think the worst. And I told Bruce, I said, okay, that's a lawsuit. He's fixing to get sued because, you know, this kid was trespassing in his yard, you know. But that's not happening. That's not going to happen. The parents actually made him apologize for, you know, jumping his fence and coming through his yard and causing him all the problems. And I would like to think that they paid him whatever fine that it cost him to get his dog back. I don't know that happened. Probably didn't, but
as long as they're not expecting him to pay
yeah.
the boy's medical expenses, I think that's.
And he got his dog back.
He got his dog back. I mean, it's not 100% fair because I don't think this man should have to go through anything, but unfortunately he already has had to. So
yeah, it's terrible. I just think it's terrible. You know, it's like I was telling Carrie and Susie, you know, yesterday, that a dog is territorial. I don't care if it's a dog the size of my dog or or Great Pyrenees like Shyla has. A dog is territorial.
They are.
You know,
they are.
They are. You know, their yard is their yard, and if you don't belong there, then they could become aggressive. Mm-hmm. You know, and I just and my husband, there's not a whole lot that he thinks about after he goes to bed. I mean, he's not like my mind. I lay down and I think of everything that's happened in my entire life that night, you know?
Yeah, just so you can't sleep.
Right. And that actually kept Bruce awake.
I think it would have kept me awake. And I'm not one to, I used to be. I have a million reasons as to why I don't anymore. I don't know what they all are, but you know, I used to be the one that like stayed up all night long and my mind was just cranking. I don't know if it's because my kids are older or, you know, because have less of a life, you know, and they're all gone and, you know, I don't have anything going on, but I think that would have kept me awake. But, you know, I've told people a lot of times, most of the time, I like dogs more than I like people.
Definitely, me too.
So, and I like all breeds. I'm not the kind that, like, you know, discriminates against a breed or whatever, whether it's a pit mix or this mix or that mix or I can't even think of any other names.
I'm not a big dog person. I was raised with big dogs, but I'm not a big dog person. I like little dogs, and my kids like big dogs, but you know, and speaking of big dogs, so Shyla, you know, y'all know that Shyla and Tim bought a new house, and Tim bought a door for their back door, a new door to replace their glass door that has a pet door in it, because she has 3 dogs. She has a Pyrenees and a Schnauzer, and Abby is like the toughest, baddest dog I know. I mean, she's the
Great Pyrenees.
She's the Great Pyrenees. She's the sweetest dog. But I mean, if you go in Shyla's backyard without permission, you're probably not going to come out in the same condition you went in there. I mean, Abby is just a really good guard dog, and Great Pyrenees is called a guardian dog, and she's the one that what's that thing that Trenton has, that animal?
Chinchilla?
One of Trenton's chinchillas got out, and Abby was protecting the chinchilla from the other dogs because, cool. You know, she's just a cool dog. Well, she's afraid of the pet door. And so before she will go in and out of it, Bentley, the Schnauzer, has to go out in front of her and then come back in. And in front of her.
Mm-hmm. For her to see it.
Before she'll use the dog door. Okay, she's 13. She's never had a dog door before. But she's got this dog door now, and Shyla said at night she hears Abby go and grouch at Bentley to wake Bentley up so Bentley will go outside with her. Now, isn't that hilarious?
That is pretty funny. But she'll tear you apart if you come in that backyard.
But she's scared of the dog door. And this dog door is like, I could fit through it.
I have a picture I can insert,
huge.
But it's a pretty big dog door.
It's almost the whole bottom half of the door, but it's huge. So, but I'm so happy that Shyla, you know, has now don't have to get up to what she says, get up 5 times a night to let her geriatric dogs outside. Because Levi is 10, I think, and Abby's 13. So, so you know, they're
fairly older.
They're getting old. So.
I have a doggy door for my dog.
I do too. I've always had a dog door.
As an adult, I've always had a dog door.
And then last weekend, Brinley had a motorcycle race, and oh my gosh, it was so hot. I thought we were all gonna die. It was so hot.
And melt.
And she was in her 3rd race, and this girl kind of lost control of her motorcycle and ran Brinley up on the berm, which is like the curve, the hill part. And when Brinley started, they crashed into each other, and Brinley's hand got in between the 2 motorcycles. And they thought she might have broke her thumb, but she's just got a bone bruise. And now she's irritated at Casey because he won't let her ride this weekend. She was like, "It's just a bruise, Daddy. It's just a bruise." And Casey's like, "No,
let it heal.
It needs to heal." And so she wants to ride this weekend, but he's not going to let her.
Well, good. I'm sorry, Brinley, but you do need to give it a little bit of a rest. But I'm sorry. I was going to say something, and I completely lost it.
Me and Trenton are going to go see Jurassic World this weekend.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So, Shyla, she said, "I like Jurassic World." And I said, "Good. Can't go with me and Trenton."
It's our thing. That's what we're doing.
So,
I really have had, well, I haven't had much going on in a couple of weeks. Jaime and I were just like homebodies. We don't do a whole lot. We did go see one of his friends, Nick, and his girlfriend Star, one weekend to have some food, and we had a date night one night to get Mexican food and margaritas. And other than that, I mean, it's been so hot. Who wants to go anywhere?
Oh yeah, it has been.
I mean, nobody went. I haven't done anything.
Okay, so I know that nobody, but maybe Susie, who's sitting over here being real quiet.
Yeah, she's real quiet. She's over here.
Don't watch our podcast. Nobody at work watches our podcast. So I got to tell y'all something that happened to me and Carrie a while ago.
I wasn't gonna mention it, but if you want to,
can I mention it? Nobody here watch. Do you think?
Nobody's gonna watch it.
So we're getting in the elevator.
We're not important enough.
Yeah, we're getting in the elevator, and this executive, like way up high executive, asked me. She said, "Do you still quilt?" And I said, "No, I knit more now than I quilt." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't knitted in years.
I used to knit all the time, and I haven't knitted in years.
We need to like have a knitting group at lunch, and we need to get we need
to book a room,
and let's all knit at lunch.
And all knit at lunch.
Oh my gosh!" And I was like,
and neither one of us said we already do that.
No. We were on our way to do that.
We were on our way to come here and record.
I was like so uncomfortable because I was like, okay, how do we get out of that? I mean, she's a very nice woman.
She is.
She's super nice. But, you know, that's like one of those things that now, you know.
It's a slippery slope.
It is,
there's some people that you're all right with letting in, and there's other people that you're not all right, and you don't want to hurt any feelings, and now we're all back in high school. And
I know
and who gets to sit at the table, and who has to be an outcast, and
you know, and I know 2 other people that crochet or knit that don't come in here. So I mean, it's like you said, if we let, you know, her come in, then it's going to be like we have to let everybody. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like saying, damn it, why didn't I just say, yeah, I still quilt? And then this one is laughing the whole time.
I'm laughing the whole time. You have to understand something. Darlene knows everybody at work. I mean, everybody. I'm like, who's that one? Who's that one? I celebrate my 10-year anniversary here tomorrow. I got my pin this morning.
Yay.
And I know nobody at work. I mean, except for like my little girls that I knit with. And, you know, I've had meetings and I know a few people here and there, but I don't know them like she knows them. She knows their spouses' names, their kids' names, where they went to college at, what they're going to school for, where they're getting a job at. I mean, she knows everything about everybody because she's so personable. Oh. And I'm like, just sit at my desk, head down, do my thing. And I hate to sound mean, but I don't care what your spouse's name is, and I don't want to know what your children do or where they go to school. I'm teasing. I'm not that mean, but so she knows everybody. So I'm laughing because, of course, anywhere we walk anywhere, and everybody's talking to her. You know, she's Miss Cool. She's the one that everybody wants to see.
I can come in there and y'all can teach me new things, and I'm like, oh yeah, we probably do that. I'll send you an email.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But it was funny. It was very funny.
And she is a very nice lady.
She's super sweet. So. She's super sweet. I don't know her, but I know that she's super sweet. But I've never had any interactions with her. But anytime I've seen her, I've known that she's super sweet. Okay, I have, I think, one last story that I didn't mention last time because it had just happened. So I'm going to Canada.
You are?
She just got back from Canada, and I wasn't planning on going to Canada, but now I'm going to Canada, and I'm really, really excited. So we have a friend that we met in Ravelry. I mean, I have a ton of friends that I've met in Ravelry, but her name is Paulette. Hi, Paulette. And she has come here to the United States, to Texas, last February 2017, I think. Yeah, February 2017, and she came to the retreat.
Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah. She came to the, we used to do a retreat every February and every October. We're not doing it this year because we had the cruise. Like, we saved our money from not doing it this year to pay for the cruise that we did in April. So, but February of 2017, she came to here, and I took her to Paradise Canyon for the retreat thing. And we went down to the Riverwalk for a little bit and looked at a few things. I'm a terrible hostess. I didn't even think of touristy things. My whole mind was just on knitting and the whole retreat thing. But we did do a little bit of sightseeing and stuff. So she says, well, you need to come to Canada. And of course, now that I have my passport, since I went on the cruise, I can. So
I'm excited for y'all. Y'all have fun. And Paulette, y'all better like get me something. I'm just kidding.
Of course we'll get you something. And so I'm going to get to see Paulette and her friend Jeanette and her sister Doris. And then
I would love to meet Jeanette. I mean, I would love to meet Doris too, but I've never like interacted with her like I have with Paulette and Jeanette.
Doris has done a few of the high cows, so
awesome.
I've interacted with her quite a bit. Of course, she's Paulette's sister, and then there's a yarn shop in St. Bruno, and then they're opening, I think they already opened a new one in Quebec City. It's called Biscot Yarns, which is what I'm doing the Sorcerer's Stone things in. I'm sure you guys have heard of her. And her name is Louise. She owns the shop. And I do the moderation for her in her Ravelry group. So I'm going to get to go see her, which I'm really excited about.
Are you doing a podcast with her? Like, does she have a podcast, or was Paulette just saying that you could do our podcast with her?
I think to like interview her for our podcast with her, because I mean she dyes these gorgeous skeins.
She's the dyer?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize
she's
that.
the owner and the dyer.
Okay.
She's the owner and the dyer.
Well, you should do that. You should interview her.
And I have tons of, I have a reason to show all these tons of skeins. These are all stash. I didn't just recently buy them to show all these skeins of yarn for what a knitter wants. But so yeah, I get to meet her as well.
That's
and of
exciting.
course, Paulette is. She goes, well, have you taken a train? Do you like to take the subway? What kind of food do you like?
Carrie's like, I just want to sit and knit.
I told her, I said, look, I know I'm kind of young and I should be able to like walk around all day long, but don't kill me. I mean, I do want to see the city. I've been looking at things online and everything, and the top 10 places to go when you visit Quebec and
Paulette's
Montreal.
very energetic.
Paulette is energetic. She's got more energy than I do.
Me too.
So we're going to go around. I think we're going to take a train one day so we can knit on the train. But, of course, we have to carry our knitting. And then, like, if we take it on the train, then we have to carry it around as we sightsee. Unless we maybe get a locker at the train station or something and put them away. Or anyway, she's planning it all out. She's a much better hostess than I was to her. So I'm super excited about going.
I'm excited for you.
Very, very excited.
I'm excited for you.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And it'll be my first trip alone anywhere. So I think that's really all I have going on. I have a lot of projects and stuff in front of me. I think I have more whips than I have pairs of underwear.
You only have one with you, right? Pair of underwear?
Only one with me.
Okay.
But I mean, I have more whips going on right now than I think I own in underwear. And of course, that's an exaggeration, but I just have felt like a bit of startitis, I guess.
Have you started stuff I don't know about? No?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, you know about all of them. So what do you want to do first? Do you want me to show my finished object?
Yeah.
You have yours?
I have this.
Okay.
So I really don't want this to be a finished object, but I can't find any more yarn.
In this colorway.
In this color. I wanted to make this 2 skeins bigger, but Hobby Lobby doesn't have this colorway online, and Shaw looked for me in New Braunfels. I can't find it over here in Alamo Ranch. Can't find it anywhere.
I can ask a few LSSK gals like to check Copper's Cove and Colleen and maybe Dallas.
It's called Zest Wishes.
Zest
and it's
Wishes.
The honeybee cotton.
Cotton wheel.
And I really like it, so
Beautiful.
I wanted to make it at least 2 skeins bigger. But so this is either finished, or if I can find the yarn, I want to add to it. So
she hasn't quite cut it off yet.
No, I haven't.
But it is beautiful.
Thank you.
I'll insert a picture as well. And then I finished the first tortoise sock stage 1. And I'm a big tortoise sock failure because I didn't do stage 2. But my hands were hurting.
I love those.
So I'll insert a picture. It's a very easy pattern, obviously, because I was able to do it. And it was fairly easy to even remember, but I just did them so quickly that, it's tiny needles. I do it on 2.5 millimeter, and it hurts my hands. Like after a while, and I'll get like a little, where I wrap the yarn around the needle, I'll get like this little line right here, and it actually, like, my skin will crack. And I put lotion and everything on, but it still does that. So the stage 2 that came out was a bunch of like small little cables, all the little twists and like just making like little spirals up, up the side. And those tiny little cables, just the 2 and 3 stitch cables, they hurt my fingers and my fingertips more than like if it was a 4 or 6 stitch cable. So I thought, well, I'm going to pass on this one because my hands were hurting. So I'm not doing stage 2, and stage 3 won't come out until Tuesday, I think. So I don't know what I'll do with that one.
Well, my plan was to have Shannon's sweater finished by the time we podcast again. And with all this stuff went on with the car and just trying to get settled back in from vacation, I didn't get it done. But I'm planning on blocking it this weekend so that I can sew it together and assemble it while I'm on, either next week during the week or while I'm on vacation the week after next with the girls.
Yeah, she's going to be on vacation the week after next. She's going to have the grandkids.
But I think I'm going to just work I think I'm going to work half days because, they're teenagers. They sleep till noon. So, I can save a few days by working, from 7 to 11, and then I'll probably still be home before they get out of bed.
When Antonia was born almost 7 years ago, I took half days to help Paige because I knew her and Antonia were going to sleep half the morning. You don't have a baby right in a schedule, first thing, but I thought Paige is not a morning person, so I can still, come in and do a half a day and, get my work done because I'm the only person that does what I do, and Darlene's the only person that does what she does. And so you can kind of keep up on your work, but not have to work, the whole day. And that way I had more days to use.
I think that's what I'm going to do.
For when Antonia was born. So,
as much as I would like to just take off the whole week, I would really like to save some days because if I don't work half days, I'm going to only have 1 vacation day left after that week. And and that was the vacation day I was going to take to go to the lake. But I really would like to save some days. So
yeah, that'll be good. And you're working on your Augusta shawl.
Yeah, this is another Augusta shawl, just like the pink one.
I'll have to get better pictures.
Yeah.
But look how big that is.
And I'm making it out of, it's wool tram, My Melody wool tram. It's from an Etsy shop, and Carrie can put a link in the show notes. And this colorway is called Green River. And I just am amazed at how her gradients, how they gradiate. I just think it's beautiful.
And it's very soft yarn.
It is.
If you guys have not tried this yarn, you guys need to try it. It is 50% cotton and 50% acrylic.
I can't feel the acrylic in it at all.
And it feels really, really great.
It's so soft. And it just hangs well. It drapes good. I really, really love it. And I've really enjoyed working on this shawl. It's just relaxing.
Here's mine.
Oh, that's pretty.
Not anywhere near as big, but.
And I love how the colors change.
I just got to where there's this last little row right here. There's no white. You can barely see it, but I think the white stopped like right around here. There it is.
And
this last bit is, there's no white.
And not to insult anybody's intelligence, but if you've never heard of this yarn, what they do is like this one is a 4-strand, and it's just 4 strands of yarn. And like when it started out, this green, it was 4 strands of this color green. And then when it changed to this color of green, it dropped off one of the light greens and added a dark green. They literally tied on. And then you knit for a little bit, and then another one drops off. And I mean, so it gradiates by removing one color of thread and adding another color. And I just think that it's amazing how they do that.
It really is amazing. And I've used other yarns like this before, but I think it was 100% cotton. It was called like color changing cotton or something like that. It's not as soft as this. I actually made a shawl with it, and I remember complaining to you because I thought it was very stiff. This is not stiff.
It's not, and
at all.
We found this yarn by our friend Rosanna was using it on the cruise. It is all her fault.
It is absolutely all her fault.
And but it's very reasonable price for the yardage that you get. I think it's really reasonable.
I think so.
So, but anyway, I love it. I mean, I look at her shop every day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta stop looking at her shop.
I still have, so I don't have any more white left in here, and then pretty soon I won't have any black, and I'll just get to this outside reddish orange color. It's gonna be
so pretty.
So it's called mine is called Cinnamon Girl. So, and I'm loving it. I just wish I had more time in the day to work on everything that I want to work on. Me too.
Because I want to get Shyla's color work sweater back out. I want to get that finished for her so she can wear it this winter. So
that would be nice.
And the only other thing I brought was my Hit a Feud. Carrie and I started a Hit a Feud.
We did.
And it's out of this same yarn. This is called Shades of Gray. And this was actually a custom colorway that Carrie had asked them to make. And that whenever they make a custom colorway, they will put it in their shop.
And so she has it in the shop now.
She actually carries this in her shop. But
called Shades of Gray.
We decided that we wanted to make a sweater out of this yarn, so we picked the Hit a Few pattern, and this is mine.
This is mine. Mine's much smaller. But mine's much smaller because I started it, and then Darlene, being the observant person that she is, she's so observant. I'm so clueless some days. We were at the exact same spot, and we were in our room knitting and everything, and she says, "Where are you at on the pattern?" I said, "I'm just finishing the 3rd repeat." She goes, "Well, I'm just finishing the 3rd repeat." She goes, "But yours is bigger than mine." And I said, "No, it's not." And she goes, "Yeah, it is." So we put it up next to each other, and sure enough, mine was almost an inch.
Yeah, it was a lot
almost
bigger.
An inch bigger. And I thought, well, I don't want it to like hang on me. And you know, we never do a gauge swatch, so we just kind of
we do sometimes.
We do sometimes, but it's not
we didn't on this.
We didn't. And so I just said, let's start on 5s. I always go up one size from what the pattern calls for, because that's what we usually do, and we've been knitting for 6 or 7 years now, and that's just how our gauge usually is. But apparently I've become a little bit looser than I used to be, because I had to go down a needle size.
I was worried because she got the ruler out, and she checked the gauge on the pattern, and then was checking my gauge and checking her gauge. I was so relieved
when it was mine.
When my gauge was right. Mine was like right on.
Mm-hmm.
And hers was wrong, and I was like, oh, thank God.
She was. That's exactly how she was. I was like, okay, I'll start over. So I did. I started over. But
see, what I wanted to say was, like at the lake house that time when you was like, that would be hilarious if you had to start over.
We started these sweaters at the lake house like 3 years ago, and we had to cast on like 11 billion stitches and join it in the round. And we were like, okay, when we get all the way back around, if yours is twisted, I said, that would be hilarious. And she's like, that's not very nice. It's really funny. But the only good thing, I think possibly, about me starting over is that I did not frog all this whitish gray. It's the lightest gray. I just took it straight from wherever I was off on here, and I've already hit one color change.
That's awesome.
You can't see it because this is 7 colors. It's not quite as obvious as these greens and blues and oranges and whites because it's all gray, so it's very hard to see my first color change, but I have hit it. So we're both worried that we're not going to get to the black.
Yeah, we are.
Because the skein of yarn is 2,000 yards, and I think the pattern calls for 1,300. And while we're both going to make ours a bit longer, I just don't know that we're going to use all 2,000 yards.
And that's going to be so sad.
It will be, because the black kind of makes the whole thing on the outside. So if anything, I might hit black just to, you know, a touch sooner than it will before Darlene.
You will.
So it's the only good thing about having to start over. But I'm way behind on our schedule.
Oh, so. I am too. I was secretly hoping you'd make a new schedule so we wouldn't be behind, but I know you're trying to get caught up.
I was going to try and get caught up, so I'd like to
try to get caught up.
I'd like to try to finish this to take to Canada. I think it would be cool.
I still think we can,
and
even if we're behind. I still think you can finish it by the time you go to Canada.
I hope so. And then I have one other whip that I don't think I know that Darlene doesn't have. So we've talked about Rosanna, and she was able to come to the lake house, and I told her, when she came to the lake house, she purchased a kit from Stylecraft of these batik colors. And the kit, it was a 2017 kit, and it had a pattern that came with it, and it's called Parallel Waves. I'll insert a link. And I think when she got it, she might have thought it was crochet, because she's a big crocheter. She's not a knitter, she's a crocheter. So I think when she purchased it, she thought it was a crochet kit, and then when she got it, she realized it was a knit kit. I said, well, if you like it and you got this kit, bring it to me at the lake house and I'll make the shawl for you. And she did. So, and then she gave Darlene and I each enough yarn to make our own shawl, because that's how much of this yarn she has, to make our own parallel wave shawl. So here's it's the wrong side. Here's the right side, and I'll take a picture, but this is it so far. And it is on a provisional cast on. So once I think I have about 20 more rows this way, and then I'll bind off, and then I come back and pick up this provisional cast on, and then I do the exact same rows that I did here on the other side. So it's kind of worked like from the middle out.
It's pretty.
And I just have the whole...
I was just thinking, looking at that pattern, you know how Susie always wants to do, likes to do those shoulder poncho loop things? That pattern would be really pretty in one of those.
She's over there nodding. It would be pretty if it went all the way around like a little shoulder cowl. That's the only other. Is that the only other one? And then we of course both have our temperature blankets. Ugh. I actually think that I'm gonna, whatever color I run out of next, which I have a feeling is gonna be red, because it's so
because it's hotter than heck.
I'm not gonna buy any more yarn to keep going. I'm gonna end it.
If you end yours, I'll probably end mine.
And Antonio wants it. He saw me working on it this past weekend, and he says, "Grandma, what is that?" And I said, "It's a blanket." Like, you couldn't tell? It's a blanket. He goes, "Well, who is it for?" And I said, "Well, I don't have anybody that it's for." He goes, "Well, can I have it?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to finish it." So Antonio's going to get it, and he doesn't care how far I go or what the temperature was or that it's even a temperature blanket.
Yeah.
He just wants a blanket from Grandma, it's very sweet. I love him for it. So, and I guess that's it, right? Well, I haven't what a knitter wants.
And we have a giveaway.
Oh yeah, we do. Are we going to add this to the giveaway, or no? We're going to do a new prompt.
Yeah,
for
this is a new prompt.
This is a new prompt. This is from Michelle and Leslie at the Naughty Knitlets. They're so awesome. And they sent us a note, and she said to do her proud. Let me see if I can get the words exact. So for this giveaway, make us proud, girls. Ask some awkward, invasive, inappropriate question as the prompt. So we thought we would do, what is the most awkward, invasive, inappropriate thing you have ever done in your life? And tell us what it is. And I'll open that thread.
Okay, that's going to be hilarious.
I think it is, because
hilarious.
I think it will be. And so I'll show you everything that's in here.
There's a bunch of stuff in here. You get this cool bag for one.
Yeah, Tuft Woolens. The Ann Bud knits the gauge ruler, which both Darlene and I have, and we don't use it for our gauges, but it's a cool ruler. You can put it like, you put it on top of your knitting to see if you're getting the gauge that you need to. This is Barnyard Knits Dream Catcher, 75% merino, Superwash merino and 25% nylon. Sock weight 463 yards per 100 grams, and it's beautiful. The speckles are gorgeous. Everything is gorgeous. Of course, Olive Barner knits yarn is beautiful. Naughty Knitwits sticker
with a note on the back.
With a note that says congratulations, winner. Then we have a Naughty Knitwits stitch marker and a Serious Balls pin with pictures of knitting yarn balls. It says Serious Balls, and I think there's one more thing. The
Tuft Wool and Lip Balm.
The lip balm that goes with this. So all of that for that one prompt, the most inappropriate. Let's pull it out again to get it right. Awkward, invasive, inappropriate thing you've ever done. I think that's going to be hilarious. We can't wait to read them.
And then we'll do the giveaway in the next podcast?
Yeah, we'll do it, which will be about 2 weeks and a few days. So we're about 2 weeks and a few days with this podcast, but we figured since Darlene's going to be on that vacation, we would have ended up having to go 3 weeks. So we're going to be like 2 weeks and then a few days from when she comes back that following week, and we'll podcast that week. So put all this back, make sure I don't lose anything. And then the last thing that I have is what a knitter wants. So Louise at Biscotte Yarns, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, Biscotte or Biscotti, or I'm not really 100% sure. She has a new free pattern out, and it's called Biscotte Brioche Socks. And I'll put a link in the show notes. It is free, and I think it's the coolest thing. It is brioche, and she used one self-striping yarn on one side, and then she used a solid on the other. The self-striping is like purple, white, black, purple, white, black kind of, and then the outside was red. And again, I can insert a picture, and then I'll put a link in, and I want to make these socks so bad. So I got out almost all of my, sorry, I make such a loud noise, almost all of my Biscotte yarn. I have a kit with all different colors of whites and grays and blacks and black and white self-striping. And then I have all these different self-striping yarns. And then I have a couple more solids. So I bring this up because my question is, do I make that, this is apple with this brown, because somebody said it looked like the brown of a tree, the bark of a tree, and put these two together. My fear is that I'm going to lose the black seeds that's in the apple, and I'm like wasting the apple yarn on, it'll like get lost in the wrong pattern. Instead, just make a vanilla sock with the pretty apple yarn and I'll be happier. Or I thought I could do like, which one were you saying?
This one.
This one, like with the cream.
Or even this one with the cream.
Or even this one with the cream. So I'll put a vote in the show notes on like the second post. And I'll put a couple of these combinations together. Could even do this. I could even pull out like a darker color and put these two together. That might pop. Rainbow and black. And put a couple of things together, and then you guys can vote and tell me which ones that you like and which ones that I should do. So. I think the only other thing I didn't show was my whip of socks, which they're my podcast socks. So I do have a couple of notes for our cow that's going on. We have a few people that have entered already. So there's Cher and Buckaroo, Knitting Mary B, V Shaw 7, YVHIHA, I don't know how to say that, MVA 5493, Sarah's Nana, Hooked for Life, Nicole, and I Now Hour. And thank you all for entering. And then I have a few notes for Corleen to see how your boho blush is going and your cloverleaf top, because you put that in the chatter and we haven't seen it since. And then Heidi Sue 76, how are those 4 whips within arm's reach?
Awesome.
Hooked for Life, Tania, you said you had 2 blankets. Haven't seen any pictures. Didn't see them at the lake house.
Come on, girl.
Where are those blankets? Knitting Mama 64, you were going to start some things for Christmas, and I haven't seen any pictures. And then Rebecca, you have a beautiful striped hat, and I can't wait to see updates on that one either. So you guys keep chatting in that group, and put up your finished objects. It's going to go all the way till November, and I think I'm going to have a second set of needles that we might be able to give away. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to try for it.
And if you get them, they'll be sharps, right?
I will. They will be sharps. So we'll have one sharp set and one non-sharp set. We'll do one winner at a time, and whoever gets which one gets which one. So, and I think that's all I have.
That's all I have.
All right. Well, you guys have a great couple of weeks. We hope you come back and see us soon. And stay cool.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.